Today in history, in 1589, during France's religious war, a fanatical monk stabs King Henry II to death.
Welcome to What the Fuck History, a podcast where we discuss the weirdest and wackiest incidents that make us say, well, what the fuck history. I am your wannabe Indiana Jones, Zachary, and this was a callback to our very first episode.
My name's Meghan, and tonight my story will rock you like a hurricane. That's a threat.
And I'm Matt. Today I learned that nifty is a shortened version of the word magnificent.
Oh.
You know what else is really nifty? Having our friend Steve on the podcast with us. Steve, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
The man, the myth, the
Hi,
legend.
everybody.
The man
The
himself.
man himself is
Yeah.
here.
I was about to say, everyone's been hearing us talk about Steve, and now they get to hear Steve. Oh, my.
No, mama.
Yeah. The only thing that would have been more satisfying is if we had actually introduced an intern named Kevin.
Oh, stop.
I'm
can be
working on
Kevin.
it.
I
man.
can be Kevin. Steve's like, I'm willing to be a team
Steve's
player.
just like, I can be Kevin.
I make the same either way.
Which
That's
is
fair. You can be
not a
That is
lot.
true.
And you know what? The best part is, Steve, if you do your job and Kevin's job, you'll still make the same amount.
Rip.
And that's socialism.
That's socialism, baby.
God.
Fuck. All right. Already off to a good start.
Okay, party
Yeah.
people, on this, our 50th episode extravaganza, we have set our strikes to 0, including Steve's. We have invited our trusty translator, Steve, and a game of rock, paper, scissors has been played, and the order for tonight's episode is Zach, followed by Meghan, followed by me. That's just the sound of me falling off a cliff, by the way.
No, it's just,
Don't fall off a cliff. We need you to finish the episode.
I already fell off the cliff.
all right. Well,
So,
I'm going to need you to crawl back up.
yeah.
All right,
just
got it.
Climb up very carefully.
I'll get there by the time that my story is ready.
Fantastic.
Still in the oven.
Lords, ladies, and non-binary landholders, before I
Speaking
get...
of lords and
Oh my
ladies,
God.
sorry to cut you off so early in your
Ow.
story,
Ow.
but I went to a Ren Fair a while back, and you know how they have like the big cat exhibit that they do at Ren Fairs sometimes?
No, I've never been to a Ren Fair.
Have you never?
Never.
Oh my God. So anyways, at the Ren Fair that I went to, they have like a big cat show where they bring out like
Meow.
lions and tigers
And bears, oh my.
No bears, because it's a big cat show, you fucking
God.
idiot. But anyways, the girl that was doing the presentation said lords and ladies at least 50 times during her presentation. And I have a disdain for it now as like a phrase.
Okay.
But I don't
Well,
hate it
lords
as much
and
as you hate
ladies
baby
is a
voice.
spice. You're supposed to sprinkle it in, not
Yeah.
make it a meal.
Yeah. She made it like the whole
Yeah,
meal.
well,
Yes.
she's wrong.
You can't just eat hot peppers.
Lords and ladies.
You just can't eat. You should eat lords and ladies. Fuck the rich.
Eat the rich.
So, as I was saying, I'm going to start all over again because I
Yes,
need to...
please
Give me a
do.
second.
I'm so sorry.
I just need to pick my legs below the
Yeah.
knee up off
Okay,
the floor.
this coming
and
from the guy
duct
that
tape
cuts
them.
me off at the end of every fucking podcast recently to tell people to subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, I mean, I have a job to do. Fuck off.
How much you make?
Yeah, how much are you making?
Not as much as my OnlyFans.
Oh.
His only feats.
Lords, ladies, and non-binary landholders, before I get too nostalgic and give even more callbacks, I think I should get into my story for this evening. And my story is less of a story, or more of a small list of achievements, in my opinion. And my story tonight comes from listener Meghan, who is LuckyIrish87 on Instagram.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. I wrote this down. I'm going to read it. Okay. First of all, hi, Matt, Meghan, and Zachary. You guys always ask, what the fuck history? And now I'm asking, how the fuck am I actually living out my fangirl dream of airing on your podcast? When Zach reached out to me for suggestions, my brain was so scrambled that I immediately dug into this weird channel in the back of my mind that produced 2 words. Kinky Friedman, the hero of Texas. The man, the myth, a human, likely too intense for this world. I'm pretty sure that he's going to blast off one day in a blaze of glory fueled by rainbows and Bud Light. And he's also God's gift to music. You're welcome. I can't wait to hear Zach's delivery, and I really hope he keeps it, well, kinky. I love you guys. Thanks for helping me through some pretty tough times by always making me laugh. Insert heart emoji, fangirl eyes. You guys are the greatest.
First off, I'm going to give them a strike for the fact that they butchered this asking of a question. And
I
they
need to hear the audio.
I can't
now.
believe we're giving listeners strikes now.
I know. I'm being devious. Don't worry, Matt, you will get the audio. I will send it to
great.
you. But for those of you who don't know, I'm adding the audio in post.
Ooh.
Anyway. Ooh, fuck editor, Zach. Anyway. So yes, Meghan has asked me to talk about a man by the name of Kinky Friedman.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes, and now I knew nothing about this man other than the fact that he has a fantastic name, which, by the way, is not a sex thing. It refers to his hair, which is kinky and wavy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, like, this is his actual government name, his Uncle Sam name.
His Christian name.
His Christian
No.
name.
God-given.
His biblical name is actually Richard Freeman,
Oh.
and he was born in 1944 in Chicago. To a Dr. Thomas. Da Bears. Fuck. He was born to a Dr. Thomas and his wife, Minnie Friedman. And right out the gate, I will say this guy has some real fucking main character energy, because at the ripe old age of 7, he is invited to at 7, yeah. He is invited to participate in a contest to challenge Samuel Rzewski.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve.
Yeah?
We need...
Steve, I need help. I'm
He
drowning.
sounds so tired already.
He's like, man, I definitely don't get paid enough.
I don't know if you guys heard the audible exhale that he just did.
Is it bad that all of I'm thinking of is as I just hear Steve audibly exhale, my brain is just doing the mountain goats. I am drowning. There is no sign of land.
You are coming down with me.
But yes, Samuel Rzewski, I think. It's
To your point, yeah, spell it, please. That's what I was going to ask.
Reshevsky.
Oh, yeah, Reshevsky.
Rzewski.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. So yeah, Samuel Rzewski, who was at the time a United States Grandmaster of Chess.
Oh, chess.
Ooh, chess. But yes, so young Richard Freeman at the age of 7 challenges the Grandmaster of Chess in the United States, and he loses, and so doesn't everyone else in this competition. But apparently he does pretty well, and he was also the youngest player in this chess competition.
Hey,
so
my
again,
brother.
at the ripe old age of 7, he's starting to give me some main character vibes.
What? Yeah, I guess, like, you kind of have to tell me the color of his hair as well, because it always has to be a weird color to be main character.
That's true.
Yeah,
If he wasn't born with pink hair, he's not a main
That
character.
is so
he
accurate.
was born with dark, like, brownish, blackish hair.
I guess.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, he could be a main character in, like, a more serious anime.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
More realistic
this-
anime.
This
little
is
bit
not
more,
going to
yeah.
get realistic or serious
Oh,
at
could
all.
be a slice of life anime.
I'm turning you off. So time passes.
That's
and,
historically not true.
Yeah. Ooh, baby. Time passes, and Kinky graduates from high school in Austin, Texas, and subsequently earns his Bachelor of Arts from the University of Austin, and he earns it in psychology.
Oh, wonder what he did with that degree.
I don't know. I guess we should ask you.
You should, because he then serves 2 years in the Peace Corps, teaching in Borneo, Indonesia.
Oh, so he definitely didn't have a job. God.
Definitely didn't have a job. It was a psychology degree and was in the Peace Corps for 2 years.
Wow, is he me?
When I was researching this and I saw he was in the Peace Corps for a couple of years, I was like, Steve?
Steve, is that you?
I'm just staring sadly at my psych degree, which as of yet has not played a part in my success in life.
Well, I
if
mean,
it could be called success at
no,
all.
I think it has.
You're better than me. I'm 3 credits shy of a degree.
Okay, Van Wilder.
Matt, I think
Yeah.
your psych degree has played a role. You're wildly underpaid for what you do.
You're absolutely correct.
Wow.
Go off, sis.
Steve, you're just like, wow. I felt that one.
But, so he teaches a little while in Indonesia, where he meets up with his soon-to-be road manager. Because what does Kinky end up doing with his life?
I don't know.
Will he become...
Did he start an OnlyFans?
No, he becomes a musician.
Oh, that's close.
Oh, hell yeah.
A busker.
A busker, if you will.
So, Kinky Friedman starts a band. Well, actually, he starts a couple bands. But the one that
Was it
takes
called
off...
Kinky and the Freedmans?
No, it's called Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys.
Okay, well, you
That's
can't...
even
All
better.
right, well, that's definitely not politically
No,
correct
you can't say a lot
nowadays.
of those words together.
Well, here's the thing.
We can't say a lot of those words together.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys. is the
Kinky
name
does
of
what he
his
wants.
band.
That's
Kinky
true.
does what he wants. But the best part about this is they make a bunch of satirical music that gains popularity in the 70s, but everything they wrote was satire, but also politically poignant, because you see, Kinky grew up in a very Jewish household. His parents were Russian Jewish immigrants. So many of the songs that he wrote and performed were not only humorous, but called people out for being shitty.
So what you're telling me is that Kinky Friedman was the very first Weird Al Yankovic?
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's the very first... No, that's not true. He was born in the 1940s. I was going to be like, he's the footsteps of Jonathan Swift.
Yeah, no, Weird Al vibes, but make it Texas.
Weird Al vibes,
yes.
but make it slightly to the left.
Yeah. So all of his songs, as I said, were humorous, but called out for people for being shitty, including a song that is amazing called "They Ain't Making Jews Like Jesus Anymore."
That's true, they
in
are.
which he in which he accounts verbally a story where he verbally berates and then physically beats the shit out of a drunken white racist.
Nice.
Amen, brother.
So I'm loving this guy already. This is fantastic.
Can you imagine the music video if he was around for that?
Oh my
That
god.
would be so good.
MTV would be a different place.
That's what I'm saying.
Or like what's that other thing on YouTube? It's Vivo, as always.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Vivo or whatever, yeah.
Vimeo?
Vimeo.
No,
Vimeo, yeah. I don't know. Technology, I'm bad with it.
me too.
But yeah, he had some other interesting highlights to his career, but mainly whatever was on Kinky Friedman's mind, he did, and he caused a lot of chaos. And for that, I have to give him credit where credit is due. But continuing his streak of main character energy, in the 80s when his music stardom kind of began to fade a little bit, he ended up switching careers and began to write detective novels, featuring a wildly exaggerated version of himself solving crimes in New York.
Wow.
Don't
Was the
worry.
character also called Kinky?
I don't believe the character is called Kinky. However, the stories are absolutely as wild as his music, because one of the books is called Kill Two Birds and Get Stoned.
Yo! Good for him.
That like
This
doubles
dude-
as a song title too.
I know.
Like, that's
I
great.
love that for him.
I like that he wrote fanfic about himself.
Yeah, dude literally was like, I'm cool, I'm gonna write fanfic about myself. He published 2 novels, so...
Just think, Matt. This could have been your trajectory.
That's true.
Right?
Then.
That could have been. So,
You too.
so what?
You too could have been Kinky Friedman.
What
Yeah.
you're telling me is that the logical next step after a psych degree is writing self-insert fanfic about your true crime
no.
life.
The next logical step after psych degree is becoming satirical music, politically charged satirical music.
Yeah, we're just gonna gloss over the Peace Corps.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, most people do.
Corps... Okay, so first step, Peace Corps. Second step, we had to say it quietly so we didn't scare it away. Second step, politically satirical music. Third step is fan fiction about yourself as a detective. Does anyone want to guess what the fourth step is?
Murder!
No.
Please.
Running for office.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Is it
Amazing.
really?
Steve, you're the man.
Yeah, you get a gold star.
Yes.
Amazing. He doesn't get a gold star unless he knows all of our stories.
What do you mean?
Okay.
He just guessed it
That's
perfectly.
the rules of
No.
the gold star.
Those are the rules of the gold star
I have a
established
silver
long,
star?
long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a
Can I have
silver
some
star.
silver star.
other medal star?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll give you a Medal of Honor.
Ooh, I don't want that.
So, Kinky shifts careers once again in 1986 when he runs for the Justice of the Peace of Caryville, Texas. He loses the election.
Rip.
And I will say, I'm going to say it, he did run as a Republican.
Okay.
But you'll see why I'm iffy on that label in just a minute.
I
Okay.
guess it was different back in the day. Wait, this is the eight. Never mind. No.
It's Ronald Reagan. It's not
1980
different.
It's not different. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, we're going back to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Ugh.
Anyway,
So he ran for governor of Texas back in 2006 as an independent, and somehow he raised more funds than the Democratic nominee by the second quarter.
There you go.
Oh.
Way to go, Kinky.
Way to go, Kinky. But he only got 12% of the vote, so no dice on that.
Ah, poor guy.
that's not bad for your first time out, though.
I know.
I know, right? For first time running for governor, he did say he would probably run again under the Democratic ballot. However, I think what we all need to know now is not if he's going to run again, but we need to know about his stance on the issues,
Please.
right?
Yes, I would like to know where he stands on healthcare.
It is a mixed bag where he stands on issues, but mostly in the right direction. So, Kinky loves his electric lettuce and fully supports the legalizing of marijuana and hemp cultivation. However, he doesn't fully support the selling of it. He does want it decriminalized, saying, quote, "I'm not talking about like Amsterdam. We've got to clear some room out of the prisons so we can put the bad guys in there. You know, like the pedophiles and the politicians."
You know.
As a politician himself, probably treading on thin ice.
Thin ice.
Yeah, but also he's a musician faking to be a politician.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where he's going.
I know, right?
It's like a man of the people angle or something.
Yeah, and just not giving a shit. Like, literally no fucks to give. That's Kinky Friedman. He does support higher pay for teachers and working to lower the Texas dropout rate. He supports alternative fuel sources such as wind power and biodiesel, and he opposed the Trans-Texas Corridor because it relied too heavily on toll road construction.
Okay.
So, he's making some good points.
Yeah, he
However-
is making some points.
However, he did have some strong stances on border issues and illegal immigration,
Yeah, I was.
wanting to put money towards stopping that, which... But in all fairness to Kinky Friedman, he was the only person I have ever seen that is a politician that talks about border control who said we should pay officials in Mexico to stop people from coming over their side, which I think is a lot more collaboration than saying we should build a fucking wall.
And make Mexico pay for it.
Make
And
him pay for it.
So far, Kinky's got like 3 in the win column for me and 1 in the bad column. So, I mean, so far, it's better than most politicians, if you ask me. Kinky also believes in a women's right to choose, stating that, and I quote,
Interesting.
"I'm not pro-life, I'm not pro-choice, I'm pro-football."
What the fuck?
Good.
This man. This man. Anyway.
I'm pro
So,
football.
Just didn't touch that issue, basically.
Well, he has gone on record saying that he supports a woman's right to choose and that he's like, no, it's not my place to say anything.
Yeah.
But basically, like, the media pressed him about it and, like, basically harped on him. He's from Texas. This is all Texas talk. And if he just came out and said that quote just to be like, fuck you. Reporters have also pestered Kinky into his stance on gay marriage, to which he replied, "I support gay marriage. I believe they have the right to be as miserable as the rest of us."
Wow.
That sounds like a... Oh, that sounds like something I've heard before.
I've definitely seen that quote before.
I've heard that
Probably.
before.
But yeah, so Kinky's like, I don't care what you do with your own time. It's your own fucking time. And I can appreciate that about Kinky Friedman. And really, that's kind of where I'm going to wrap up the life and times of Kinky Friedman. It is not sure whether he's going to be running for governor again in the upcoming election, but I hope he does because, man, it's just fucking wild and I'm about it. I'm about his energy. I disagree with him on the border control shit, but like, you know what? If I disagree with him on one thing, that's better than most, as I said. But again, I don't know what Kinky has planned for his future of the political career. But for now, he is staying put on his family's ranch in Caryville, Texas, which is right down the road from Utopia Animal Rescue Ranch, a rescue he founded for abused and aging animals, where thousands of dogs and other animals have been saved from euthanasia. So, I'll give him another win there.
I just I still don't know where he stands.
I don't think you're supposed to know where he stands.
Always got to keep your opponent guessing.
I think Kinky Friedman stands where Kinky Friedman stands, and honestly, it's on a shifting island of weirdness.
He's on one of those fucking, like, rollers that just has, like, a cylinder under it, and he just rolls back and forth, trying to keep himself upright.
I put, as far as, like, Kinky Friedman's politics, I think I put him in the same category as, like, a Vermin Supreme, where I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm here for the crazy.
Well, Vermin Supreme wants to give everyone a horse, so...
Exactly.
Me too.
And where do I put it?
It's a great question.
Steve,
where do I put the horse?
Steve, they are grass
valid question.
engines. Grass goes in, fast comes out. It's economical.
I live in a city. Where the fuck am I gonna get grass?
Boston Common.
You just see like 20 fucking horses on Boston
It
Common
just
at a
turns
time.
into a giant paddock for everyone's horses who lives in
Okay,
that
but I
area.
don't hate that. I don't
Yeah, that's
hate
actually
that.
really cute.
All right, there's a lot of green space in Boston. What are we saving it for? Horses.
Horses.
This is a long-term goal that Michelle Wu has been planning.
This is actually,
no.
most of the green spaces in cities are to remind people that green exists.
Yeah, right?
I'm aware of transcendentalism.
Do you recall a tree? Please, venture through this park we have installed for you.
Here's an approximation of a tree.
Here's an approximation of what the woods used to look like around here.
Jeez.
But-
Well, on that case, I'm done. That's it.
Megan,
That's what I got.
Do you want to tell us your story now?
Absolutely not, but I will. So, Zach, do you know who wrote my story?
I do know who wrote your story.
The story of Violet Jessup.
The Violet, yes, who asked for Violet Jessup. I can tell you.
Can you tell us who?
I thought I told you who,
No.
who asked for Violet Jessup. That's my bad. Oops, that's bad of me.
No,
Oops, all bad on Zach.
Oops, all bad. That was Liz, and not the person I'm...
Not the Liz that Zach is dating.
Yes.
Got it.
Not the Liz I am dating. Not... I'm getting...
So already we're
Sorry.
getting...
What's
we're
happening?
Getting shit. I just had a stroke. We're getting messed up because our first one came from a Meghan, but not the one that is on the podcast.
Yeah.
And our second one comes from a Liz who is not dating Zach.
Got it.
Yes,
So
I'm
all
sorry.
you
We
Liz's
did.
out there,
So
shout
We
out.
weren't.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Bless
we weren't
up.
biased or anything. I promise.
Bless up.
But yeah, Liz or it Liz what it Liz on Instagram.
Hi guys, it's Liz. Thank you so much for inviting me onto the podcast. I am thrilled to be participating in your 50th episode, which as someone who listened from day one is just crazy that we're already here, but I'm so excited. Cheers to saying, what the fuck, history at least another 50 times. In honor of this amazing milestone, I would love it if you guys could talk a little bit more about the Emu War, the football war, the voyage of the Russian Baltic fleet, how inbred the Habsburgs were, the cult of sexual obsession created by Rasputin, the Pig War, the great 1980s Dungeons and Dragons panic, the cat that started life on a Nazi Navy vessel in World War II, and then went on to become the British Royal Navy mascot, I think. I don't know the cat's name. I'm pretty sure if you Google Nazi cats, or no, don't Google Nazi cats. But anyway, I'm sure you guys will find it. Something about a cat. And I would also love to hear more about the bear that was enlisted into the Polish army and the story of Violet Jessup. Looking forward to hearing with what you guys come up with. Congratulations again on your 50th episode, and cheers to 50 more.
It is what it was. Okay, so.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is good. It's a good name. All right, so, you know what's not funny? The title of my story.
Tell me more about your notes titles.
So it's called The Queen of Sinking Ships.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't come up with that.
Does she have loose
Okay.
lips?
Ooh, girl.
Girl.
She might have.
That's a little bit personal.
You can't,
Well, you know
God,
the saying.
God,
Yeah,
Steve.
loose lips.
Sink
And
ship.
she's the queen of sinking ships.
Yeah, dude, she was
By the transitive property.
she was sinking them all over the place with those
I'm just saying.
loose
Yeah, no,
lips.
it makes sense.
I'm not a historian.
That's true. That, like, honestly,
None of us are.
who is here? What makes a historian? That's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the Queen of Sinking Ships.
A liberal arts degree with
Yeah, BA
focus in
in
history.
history.
I have a BA in history
2
and
years in the Peace Corps.
yeah, a lot of few years. I feel like between all of us, we could make a historian PhD.
Just one.
What one
Just one.
out of?
We only need the one.
That's
can
tr-
share it.
We can share it. That's true. Just like
Zach, it's my week with the PhD.
just like
That
millennials
spot on my
everywhere.
wall is so bare.
That's I miss when it's here. Okay.
What about millennials?
Just like millennials have never not had to share a place where they live.
We just share a degree.
We share degrees. And the student debt that comes along with them. Anyway,
Oh, fuck.
I've brought it back. So, The Queen of Sinking Ships is the name of my story. Like I said, it is about a woman named Violet Constance Jessup. A good name if I've ever heard one.
Strong.
It's
It's a
strong.
name.
It is strong.
Not too many, not too few, as we've described with Zach's character.
Yes. It's just that perfect amount of. This name is just right.
This name is just right. So, the idiom about something being a sinking ship implies that, like, something can't be saved, right? Like, this relationship, sinking ship. Or, like, the company, it's going down like a naval frigate, whatever. It's something that usually needs to be abandoned, and if you can't jump into the waters fast enough, then it takes you down with it. However, which is history's favorite way of saying but. Please don't fact check me on that. For a woman named Violet Constance Jessup, sinking ships were nothing to be afraid of.
Good for her.
I love the concept of, like, everyone else being like, this is terrifying, and her being like, I've seen worse.
This bitch is on the Titanic, like, meh.
Well, I mean, you joke. But she was. Anyway.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Yes. So, born during the...
Oh!
What?
I think I know this story.
Okay, well, let's... Shh.
Shut up and let me
Spoilers.
learn it.
Yeah, spoilers.
Okay,
God.
I didn't say anything. I just said that I think I know this story.
I can't believe
Don't
you would...
sink the ship for her.
Don't sink this ship for me with your loose lips. God. I'm tired of people's saggy lips on this show. Anyway.
All right,
Oh,
you need to pull this
Move
together.
on.
All right. So, Born during the fin de siècle, which is a fancy way of saying the end of the 19th century, I am...
Why the fuck did you decide to go fancy?
Because I wanted to win verbal Scrabble tonight. Thank you.
That's not even a game we play.
It is now. And I am winning. Violet came into the world near, and I'm going to say this wrong, but the whole time I was reading where she was born, I was saying the Baja Blast, and it's not.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, she was born in Baja Blast, Argentina, so, like, you can go looking for it if you want.
I mean, I will, but also I just keep thinking of Hank Hill saying Baja Blast.
Baja Blast.
Baja Blast.
Yeah, so that was me while I was reading her birthplace. It's actually Bahia Blanca.
I like the Baja Blast better.
So she was born in Argentina and was the oldest daughter of Irish immigrants. I don't know how they ended up there, but...
That's not good for the skin type.
It's not good for the skin
You
type.
will burn.
They're gonna burn. Steve, have you been to Argentina?
I have not. I've been to Venezuela,
Okay.
Ecuador, and Peru.
Okay, I was wondering. I couldn't remember if you had been there before.
No.
So I wanted to
It's on my
ask.
list.
Yeah.
Along with all the other 200 countries I still haven't been to.
Okay, fair. we all have that list. So, like most families during this time, where the tried and often not true form of birth control was either abstinence or the pull-out method, she was the first of 9 children. She spent most of her childhood caring for her younger siblings because when you're the oldest, you become third parent.
De facto mom.
De facto mom. Yeah, she was de facto mom. Anyway, when her father died, she was 16, and then the family moved back to England where presumably their skin did much better. And she attended a convent school.
You mean they didn't burn constantly?
Yeah, they weren't like constantly on the surface of the sun. She attended a convent school and continued to take care of her youngest sister while her mother was working at sea as a stewardess. It was only after her mother became ill that Jessup left school and followed in her mother's footsteps and became a stewardess as well. And then the Fire Nation attacked, and by the Fire Nation I mean the sea in general. So
Okay, the opposite of the Fire Nation continued.
yeah, the Water Nation attacked, I guess. So proving that women have been dealing with the same shit for at least the last century, Jessup had to dress down to make herself less attractive in order to get herself a job, which she successfully did at the age of 21 with the Royal Mail Line in 1908. This started Jessup's career aboard many other ships, including the RMS Olympic in 1911, which was a luxury ship and was the largest civilian liner at the time. Sounds a little familiar, right?
Yeah.
However, while Jessup was aboard, it collided with a British warship.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, while I was reading this, I was like, man, can you imagine, like, a warship filled with career seamen? Like, how do you fuck up that bad? Like, your whole life is about, like, hey, do you see anything else on the water? How do we not crash this boat into something?
Yeah.
And they just
Like,
do it anyway.
You had one fucking job.
They literally have one job. Keep this boat away from other boats.
The
Keep this
ocean's
boat
so
afloat.
big.
That's what I'm saying.
The ocean's so big.
The ocean is limitless. Like,
No, there's definitely a limit to
that's
it.
that's not true. I've never seen it. Therefore, I refuse to believe. It's limitless. Until I see those walls of ice those flat earthers are talking about, absolutely no limit to the ocean. So anyway, the Olympics sustained severe damage, but it did make it into port without fully sinking.
Okay.
Jessup did not learn her lesson and decided to transfer ships in 1912 to the Olympics' sister ship, the Titanic.
The Titanic.
Amen, brother.
Fuck!
It's Titanic. So, at the tender age of 24, Jessup once again found herself on a massive civilian liner. She set sail on April 10th, 1912, and just 4 days later, history was made as it struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sank in just under 2 hours and 40 minutes after the collision.
New record!
New record! Yeah, can you imagine, like, the captains yelling that out? New record.
I
I
can't,
would.
but now that we've said it,
Yeah, they didn't put
Yeah.
that. Did you guys have the Titanic VHS set when you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like
No.
Weirdly, I just watched it last night. Not on
Oh,
VHS,
my
but I
God.
just
Can I-
watched it last night.
Does it?
can I tell you a secret?
What?
The Titanic is garbage movie?
No,
Wow.
it's a deeper secret than that, which is that I've never watched Titanic.
You don't. Have,
Don't watch Titanic.
Yeah,
it's
you-
a garbage movie.
I don't know.
Everyone should watch it once, Zach.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
once.
I think everyone
Um,
should see it once.
That's several hours I can't get back.
It is.
That's like watching Gandhi.
It's as many hours as the Titanic sank that I cannot get back
Oh
in
my
my
god!
life.
It actually is as many
Yeah.
hours as the Titanic sank.
I wonder if that was on purpose.
I think so.
How long is the actual runtime of the Titanic? Anyway, wait, no, we can't. We have to get
It's like
back
3
to
hours.
this. It's 3 hours. Okay, slightly
Yeah.
longer than the actual sinking
It's
of the boat.
more time than it took for the actual fucking Titanic to sink.
Well,
I'm not wasting that time.
When you have the limitless ocean pouring into the hull, it gets the job done pretty fast. So anyway, in her memoirs, Jessup describes how she was called up to the deck of the Titanic as it was sinking to serve as an example of how to behave for the non-English speakers who could not follow the instructions given to them, which, when you say it that way, sounds very condescending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Then again, I don't pay attention when I go onto a flight and they show me how to use the fucking safety belt, but like, it's a fucking safety belt.
I know. I imagine she was like the hostesses. She was like, "This is how
Yeah,
you
right.
inflate the thing," and they were
Pointing
like,
to the emergency exits, which are everywhere.
everywhere. It's
Just
literally
jump off.
whatever railing you want to take at that time. That's where you go.
And please make sure to fasten your own mask before you fashion the masks of others.
And you know what? To be fair, she did, because she was given a space on a lifeboat. But then, immediately as she sat down, she was handed a random baby to look after.
Oh,
And the next morning, when her...
But she was well practiced.
Yeah, she was well practiced because she is de facto mom. Remember,
she's the mom friend.
she's the mom.
Oh
friend.
yes, I have held a baby before.
She's like, this feels familiar. I've been doing this since I've been but a wee lass. So the next morning, as her and the rest of survivors were like bobbing on the waves in the lifeboat, they were rescued by another boat that was called and taken to New York City. And while on board, the baby was taken from her by a woman who she presumed was the mother, but didn't get a chance to ask. She was like, "All right, that's your baby now."
No longer my problem.
No longer my problem. So
Not my monkey, not my circus.
once she got to New York, she said, "Fuck you" to fate, and she continued to be a stewardess. And by the time World War I rolled around, she was working for the Red Cross on the Britannic, the younger sister ship to both the Olympic and the Titanic. So this family of ships was probably cursed by, like,
Apparently.
a
Or she was, but yes.
I don't know. I'd like to think that this family of ships was, like, cursed by a Victorian ghost or something.
No, it was cursed by Violet Jessup.
Maybe. Well, because while it was sailing on the Aegean Sea, it sank thanks to an unexplained explosion, which I assume was
Nice.
ghosts.
Ghosts.
But it was figured out in 2016 that it was struck by a deep sea mine, and it sank.
You want to try that date again?
2016. As I
2069.
2069. No, in 2016 it had struck a deep sea mine and it sank in 55 minutes. So,
Oh, okay.
just like
Did
a
she
deep-
die in that one?
no, please.
How many more ships have to be sacrificed to this woman?
All of them.
So, like the Titanic, Violet did watch other people die because there were fatalities aboard. While
Fatality.
well, like by fatalities too, like it sounds pretty awful because while it was sinking, it was described that like they were some people were killed by the ship's propellers that were just shredding lifeboats.
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was like
Honestly, though, that's faster. That's better than drowning. Honestly, I would rather
Yes.
that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think like the lead up to being shredded by a propeller pretty bad.
Yeah, but once it's over, it's over.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
it's
Like you're not
completely
gonna be
over.
sitting there. I won't have the fucking water level of Sonic when you're dying running through my head as I gasp for air.
No, you're right. You're right. I'll give
I
it
just
to
got
you.
stressed out when you said that.
It is the most stress-inducing sound.
He's like, I just got PTSD.
Yeah,
Like a flashback, if you will.
post-traumatic Sonic disorder.
Post-traumatic sonic disorder. I think that's
Everybody's got it.
yeah, I think everybody has that.
I
So,
need a fucking chili dog.
as she was like seeing these lifeboats shredded, she jumped from hers, which resulted in a pretty bad head injury, but she survived because she's like a god or something. I don't know. So once again, not taking the hints that God kept giving to her, she went back to work on the White Star Line in 1920 after the war, and as well as the Red Star and the Royal Mail Line again. So she did not learn. She also went on not one but two cruises around the world because this lady fucking simped after boats. And she married briefly in 1950, but presumably her husband was like too much of a coward to be partnered with a sea goddess, and then he left. The other weird part of this story is when she was writing her memoir with her biographer, she said that like a few years ago she had received a telephone call from someone claiming to be the baby she had rescued from the Titanic. And
What?
her biographer said it was probably a prank, but she said it wasn't because she had never told that story to anyone other than to the biographer like at this moment.
Wow.
Okay, that's
Whoa.
fucking weird.
Yeah. So, and also records indicate that there was one baby who survived on Jessup's lifeboat, and it was reunited with its mother on the ship that brought them to New York.
Way to go, Violet Jessup.
I know, she
Yeah, right?
saved a whole baby.
You
Also,
go, girl.
that's nice
Not
closure
just
because
a whole baby, but the only baby.
Yeah, it was nice closure, right? Like,
Well, yeah, because like you kind of buried the lead a little bit, which was clever. You were like, we don't know if that was the mom or not, and then it was.
It
Well,
was.
I think the point was that Violet herself didn't know.
That's
But-
true, yeah.
From her
Either way.
perspective, neither
Yeah.
did we.
And that's
Yeah.
like that's kind of what I liked about like that little tidbit about the story. So after all that, it wasn't the sea though that finally claimed Jessup. It was heart failure, and after multiple near-death experiences, she did die at the age of 83 in 1971. So truly, the other name that she had was Miss Unsinkable.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
I like that one better. But either way, like, this bitch lived a long time after almost dying a lot.
I
Like,
know,
you
dude.
credit where credit is due.
Honestly, I don't like change and I don't like permanence, but if I was Miss Unsinkable, that would be tattooed on me somewhere.
I'm not Miss Unsinkable, but it still might be tattooed on me somewhere.
Yeah, I would literally get a tattoo of the Titanic and be like, I was on that.
I was
I-
on that, dude.
Yeah, I was on that, dude. So I was the hostess.
Weird flex, but okay.
A weird flex, but okay. Honestly, that's the only flex I want to see. I survived the Titanic.
Yeah.
And all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
I survived the Titanic, and all I got was this lousy tattoo.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
lousy tattoo. It's like really shitty traditional too.
Hey, traditional is good,
I'm not saying traditional isn't good. I'm saying her
but
particular.
it's shitty traditional.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Her
okay.
particular tattoo, shitty traditional.
I just say 'cause as a man who just got a traditional tattoo,
No, hers in particular.
is shitty American
shitty,
traditional.
yes.
Understood.
Absolutely. All right. We have finally come to the point in the night where it's the man, the myth, and the legend.
Yeah, we already introduced Steve.
That okay.
Yeah.
The other man, the other myth, and the other legend.
They're
I
they're not.
got nervous for a second.
I'm just your friendly neighborhood Sasquatch,
I'm-
ready to tell you about history.
Well, also, like there can be more than one legend. There can
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
there
true.
can be two.
I am a cryptid.
I was about to say, can I cut you off for 2 seconds because you cut me off?
Yeah,
and
of
by that
course.
I mean I want to ask, if Matt's a Sasquatch, what does that make the rest of us as cryptids?
I'm gonna leave that to Steve.
I don't think that we can do that right now.
You're right. That's too long of a conversation.
Let me sleep on it.
Yeah,
It'll
can you
have to be
sleep
an
on
after
it?
dark conversation for another day.
Let me sleep on it, baby.
Anyway. So the story that I have to share with you guys tonight was suggested by a listener by the name of Nafi, and he wanted me to talk about drugs, but he had a specific topic in mind. And I'm Zach. You can put his audio here.
Hi, this is Nafi. How about doing a fucked up history story about drugs, specifically Robert Louis Stevenson writing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, fucked up on cocaine.
I put it in my notes because that's
Got
where
it.
I wanted. That's where I want his audio to go.
Right there. Just right there.
Right there. Right after I say specific topic in mind. So Nafi, as you heard from his audio clip, wanted me to talk about drugs.
Just like in general.
And specifically wanted me to talk about Robert Louis Stevenson being on a fuckload of cocaine when he wrote The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I did my research on this topic and did find out that Nafi is correct, that Robert Louis Stevenson was in fact fucked out of his mind on cocaine when he wrote the short story The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. And it's also not really that's not a story that I can stretch much, but it's good that there was more to look into on this one. In my research, I found out that Stevenson had been sick for a majority of his life. So a good portion of his life, he spent very ill.
Do you know what he was sick with?
Best guess was that it was tuberculosis.
The consumption.
The consumption. But in 1880, he and his wife Fanny moved to an estate in Bournemouth, at a doctor's recommendation saying that the bracing sea air and the pines would be better for his respiration.
Why is that
Okay,
always...
I'm real fucking confused.
Yeah.
Because then I'm hearing the crisp sea air and the pines are better for respiration, but the doctors told Doc Holliday that he needed to go somewhere dry as hell, and so he went to the fucking desert in Arizona. So what is the right answer here, doctors? Is it ocean breeze or is it desert? Please
Okay,
let
so
me know.
when did Doc Holliday have the consumption? Was it the same time?
1800s?
Yeah,
Late.
Maybe somewhere between, or maybe
listen,
it was just. The
Doctor-
fact of the matter is that it's two separate doctors telling two
Zach,
separate patients two completely separate things.
Doctoring
Yeah.
wasn't a science back in the day. It was
No,
it was
exactly
a
right.
profession of opinions.
Exactly
and
right.
travel
And
advice.
so
They also don't have deserts in the UK, right? So
That's
That's
true.
well, we got good old salty air.
That's-
imagine
Go breathe
being
it in.
1880s fucking doctor in England going yeah, you'll have to retire to Arizona, as it turns out.
Desert would be better, but we don't have
But
that. so you're
we've
pretty
not
much
got that
fucked.
here, so
Right, fucked, didn't it?
right.
you're right fucked, and you can go lay down on a beach somewhere and die. So in those years, in the 1880s, he was described by others as sickly and frail, and as was often the case, the prescription for ghosts in your blood was cocaine.
Always.
Hell yeah!
Still is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Matt,
that's
you
true.
have said that so many times, it is now officially
Part
a
of your
reason
own
to say,
lexicon,
yeah.
yeah. You got ghosts in your blood, you should do cocaine about it. But Stevenson had been prescribed a tonic that happened to be a mixture of cannabis and cocaine.
Ooh, uppers
people-
and downers. Yeah.
People theorize that this tonic would have given him increased energy and would have boosted his imagination. But what's interesting is that he wrote the entirety of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in 6 days. And he could not have done that without the help of cocaine.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it was a little bit of a nitrous in the tank there.
Yeah, so he had like a bender of his tonic and like stayed up for 6 days. Not 6 days straight, but like he obsessed over this work for 6 days. There was like a good 3 days where he didn't sleep.
Do you think that's the key?
I think it is.
Do you
I
think
think
that's the key to like writing great works?
Yeah.
Lots of cocaine and no sleep?
Man, I gotta make some calls.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like trying to struggle to do 1,000 words a day, and I'm like, but what if I just did fuck tons of cocaine, I guess?
And that's your goblin brain talking. And the great authors of the past.
His wife said this about his writing. She said that an invalid in my husband's condition of health should have been able to perform the manual labor alone of putting 60,000 words on a paper in 6 days seems almost incredible. And in fact, it was the cocaine.
Yeah.
So
I like how it says almost incredible. Like
almost incredible.
Like it isn't objectively incredible.
We have the proof.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. It's only almost incredible because he didn't do it of his own willpower. He was
high
dosing cocaine.
Okay, it's
the other thing is
wild.
Like, it's his wife. I'm pretty sure that this is not the first time
she's like, I've seen better.
Well, not that, but I'm pretty sure this is not the first time has seen her husband be like, but the fast juice for a week?
The fast juice.
What if I just go fast for a week?
So Stevenson unfortunately dies at the age of 44.
Shocker.
Not of consumption, but he does die of a stroke while opening a bottle of wine.
Oh, fuck.
That's actually really sad.
But, as I mentioned, and God bless Nafi for sending me the story because I wouldn't have found it otherwise, but the story itself isn't super long, doesn't have like a ton of legs. There's really not much to elaborate on unless I wanted to tell the story of Robert Louis Stevenson, which I don't. So I figured I would cap my story off a little bit here by mentioning other authors who can contribute some of their successful work to drugs. Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh yes. Yeah. Hunter S. Thompson. First off, I fucking love Hunter S. Thompson. It's just he's the most ridiculous fucking writer ever. But second, are we talking about Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yeah. So Hunter S. Thompson wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas about a road trip he took that was on every drug available to him at the time.
In one of the first paragraphs of the book, it is, we had 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-power blotter acid, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, and a whole galaxy of multicolored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, and also a quart of tequila, a quart of rum, a case of Budweiser, a pint of raw ether, and
Just
2 dozen amyls.
A pint of raw ether.
Not that we needed all that for the trip, but once you get locked into a serious drug collection, the tendency is to push it as far as you can.
Yeah, I guess. Let's just laugh in the face of God.
Yes!
With Zach's help there, I don't really need to add anything to that section of the story. But another author, and this one kind of surprised me. I guess it's not really that surprising, but Stephen King. Who was a famed horror writer and resident of the great state of Maine.
Cocaine user.
Famed cocaine user for sure.
Cocaine user Stephen King.
He used drugs a ton when he was just a lad.
Yep.
And of his accomplishments, Cujo is the one that's most notable because according to King himself, he was so high on cocaine and so drunk that he has zero memory of having written the novel itself.
Wow.
No.
And then another author that stood out to me was Sir Aldous Huxley. whose book
God.
The Doors of Perception, which is how The Doors got its name,
Okay.
was written entirely about his experiences whilst on the hallucinogenic drug mescaline.
He
so.
also has that book, A Brave New World, which is
Brave
like,
New World,
Yeah.
like that's the only book
Yeah.
I've read by him, and like the whole
Yeah.
premise of that book is that there's not enough work for people to do, so they're given like happy drugs.
Soma.
That's Soma. They're given Soma all
Yeah.
the time, which might be cocaine. I don't know.
I mean, based on this story, it might have been mescaline as well.
It might have been mescaline.
Yeah.
But
It might
yeah,
have been
so
a
he
lot of
like,
drugs.
so he took mescaline, and then he wrote a book about his journey on mescaline.
See,
Yeah,
I'm just like
so-
not brave enough.
I don't think I'd be brave enough either, but then there are other authors that did similar things with different drugs, so...
Yeah, I'm just
I'd
like
do the drugs. I wouldn't write a book. That's the scary part.
the writing of the book is the scary part.
Yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
a huge undertaking.
I mean, I guess, but
that
like
is a massive undertaking.
I think like for the hard drugs that they're talking about, like cocaine and heroin, right? Like I'm just not
Yeah.
willing to deal with those consequences.
No, I get that. Like, I don't know.
There's like a-
there's a...
Big difference in between like, you know, smoking pot or like
Oh, I don't think heroin was mentioned. Fuck heroin.
yeah, fuck heroin,
I,
dude.
I was not mentioned, but like a lot of cocaine. Like, yeah, like, a lot of cocaine is a lot of cocaine, you know.
It's a good amount of cocaine.
It's a good
Yeah.
amount of cocaine.
In all fairness, at least one of them was prescribed cocaine.
Yeah, at least one.
I wonder
But like,
I wonder too, like if back in the day, I mean, I think this is true, like cocaine was different. Like
Oh, yeah.
I think we've gone through like generations of
Oh yeah,
cocaine.
we're in like generation.
yeah, we're
like,
in
20 of
Gen
cocaine.
Gen Z cocaine.
Gen
Gen Z
cocaine.
cocaine.
yeah, trademarked.
TM.
Yeah, like
Yeah, no,
that. The cocaine comes out of the packet, and they're just like, "Daddy, yes," and you're like, "Wait."
Well, I mean, like,
Like that one video that's like, "Daddy, chill," and he's like, "What the hell is even that?"
Yeah, what are you talking about? That's the cocaine now.
yeah, but like, I mean, I understand that with the cocaine and some of the writers like back in the day, but like the Hunter S. Thompson thing, like, if you couldn't tell from the fact that he said he wanted to defy God in every way in that 2-paragraph statement, he wanted to defy God in every way. That's like, that was Hunter S. Thompson's whole fucking deal, was I have big sunglasses and a weird cigarette coming out of my mouth. Also, I'm gonna fight God on a daily basis with drugs.
I'm gonna fight God on a daily basis.
He woke up every day choosing violence against his deity, and drugs were the way to get him on a level playing field.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, with Hunter S. Thompson, not fucking surprised at all,
Well,
you know?
So
Yeah.
you guys have like read the daily routine, right?
Of Hunter S. Thompson?
Yeah, the daily.
I don't remember it, but I know I've read it at
I've
some point in
probably
my
seen
life.
it.
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So just like a short thing of it is like the brief picture is he wakes up every day at 3 p.m. drinks
Feeling like P. Diddy.
Yeah, wake up in the morning at 3. So he wakes up every day pretty much at 3 p.m. He drinks whiskey and snorts coke all day. He takes acid at 10 p.m. and then it is time to write. He also like he has his first meal or something at midnight after he's been doing all of this.
Yeah. I don't know, like, if I think of Neil Gaiman as, like, the, lawful good of writers, I feel Hunter S. Thompson is the chaotic evil of writers.
He's definitely chaotic.
No rules, just right. Also, there's lots of cocaine.
I don't know, dude.
No rules, just me staring in the face of God as I type a manuscript.
Yeah, dude, I don't think you can say just right because something was clearly wrong.
No rules, I'm not right.
Also,
Hunter S. Thompson.
yeah, Hunter S. Thompson. I've never read anything by him, and I
Okay, but
plan
the
on
part
keeping
that
it
bothers
way.
me about this is he is a good writer.
Is
like,
he?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is a great fucking book. It's
don't know,
horrible, but it's good.
I don't know. Also, he lived a lot longer than I would have imagined.
Right? He
Like-
lived a lot longer than he should
Because he
have.
was fighting God.
Yeah,
God
true.
was afraid
well,
of him.
so not only was he born during the Depression, but then he dies in 2005. Like, dude, you did way too many drugs to be lasting that long. Like, what'd it do?
Yeah.
Petrify you
Well,
inside?
everyone asks the same question of Ozzy Osbourne.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
true. Or like Steven Tyler,
yeah.
too.
But I feel like I think that he lasted as long as he did because God knew that if he died, then he would have to be God's problem.
He'd have to deal with him.
yeah, true.
And I imagine Hunter S. Thompson like having the same vibe when he gets up to the pearly gates as fucking Arthur Eggfort from fucking Fantasy High.
Oh my God,
Where he's
yeah.
just like, sneak me into your backpack. I'm just
He
gonna
fucking
fucking
sneaks
backpack.
into heaven in a backpack.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of my story. And even though it was started with the concept of Robert Louis Stevenson, we did take a long time to talk about Hunter S. Thompson.
Well, I think like in general too, it is kind of interesting to like think of some of these
Yeah.
really great works, right? And then be like, oh,
Yep.
they were literally written in a fever dream.
Yeah.
Nafi, if you're looking for more stories about drugs in history, we have a great episode about a little prostitute that could did so much acid that she thought she was a goddess.
The sniper,
You know.
or not the sniper, the soldier guy.
The soldier,
Finnish soldier guy.
Imo
Yeah.
Koivunen, who did enough cocaine to meet God. Got his leg blown off and didn't even feel it.
What's this?
Yeah, so there have been a couple. You can definitely go back and re-listen to those, or tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
You can do both, really. It's
You
not
can
They're
really
not
do
mutually
both.
It's not
exclusive.
either
They're not
or.
mutually exclusive.
Let's go both in, Nafi. Both in.
Let's go. Yes, and to all these things. But anyways, this is the part of the podcast where I start to close out, and Zach cuts me off at the legs.
Yes, I'm going to cut you off right now. Ka-cha.
There we go.
I'm doing it
All
very quickly. That way it's painless.
No, that's good.
You won't even feel it. Just do some drugs.
Just do some drugs.
Do some drugs about it.
You got your legs cut off. You should do cocaine about it.
Listen, that's most of doctrine nowadays is done by WebMD and intuition. So whatever you feel is right.
Whatever makes you feel so.
Whatever your health insurance will or won't cover. Am I right?
Hey!
Hey, and you can mark that off of your bingo cards, guys. I think that really does add up to us making fun of the dystopian American healthcare system.
Sure
Hell
does.
yeah.
Zach, please take it
First,
away.
thank you. First off, I would like to thank everyone who did submit stories, such as Zoe, who submitted a couple of different stories to us. Sadly, we didn't get to it, but we might do it later.
We might do it again.
And Jamie Donaldson, who shouted us out on Twitter, which was really cool because, hey, if you want to get our attention, just fucking tweet at us. We'll reply. We're not that big yet. We'll actually listen to you.
Zach will notice
I will notice.
because Zach is our marketing guy.
I will notice you, senpai.
I will notice you, and that is a threat.
That is a threat. But yeah, if you want to tweet at us and be like, hey, had an idea, or just want to say hi, you can find us. Hey, you what?
Hey.
Zach will no longer be responding to the you up messages. It will be me. Zach, as we mentioned, is dating someone. So, as the single man of this podcast group,
All
I
you
will
up
be,
messages will be forwarded to Matt.
yeah, and I'm a very sleepy boy, so I probably am not up, to be honest.
All right, but you can find us to shout out at us and tweet at us on Twitter at triumvirate_pod on the Twitter verse. And you can also find us on Instagram at _triumvirate_productions. And you can also find us on Facebook if you just kind of, look up on Facebook, the Triumvirate Productions.
Yeah, do that thing.
Do that thing that you do. And then on top of that, You can find all of the links to all of our stuff on, if you go to Instagram and you look at our, what is it called? And we have a little link tree that you can just click and it takes you to everything, including our website. But we also have a Patreon. If you wanted to, support us on Patreon, you just look up The Triumvirate Productions on Patreon. We have a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. If you just want to be able to say, hey, for the price of one fucking Donkey's coffee a month, I can support my favorite podcast.
Can't believe it.
You can do that. Anyway, that's,
It's a little bit presumptuous to say that we're anyone's favourite, but it's all right.
You're my favorite.
That's true.
Thanks,
Also,
Steve.
if you want to hear Steve give a story too,
What?
What?
I think Steve should do a story. One
It's
day.
like maybe
Yeah,
in the
Megan-
future. Teaser,
Megan,
teaser.
maybe don't fucking throw monkey wrenches into the gears here at the very end.
No, I think that's
Well,
my job.
No,
But if you do want to hear Steve tell a story, I guess that's something that we're gonna have him do later.
Tweet at us and send us money, and we'll give you Steve's story.
Yeah, send us
We
money.
need like 5 people to say we want Steve to give a story. And
at least 5.
We need a good 5 people.
and it
It
might.
can't just be you with a mustache and a fake beard. So like,
I deleted my Twitter. I gotta get a new one so I can follow you guys again.
But can it be me with a fake mustache and beard?
Can it be
no,
me?
because you have a real mustache and beard, and they're glorious.
Thank you. But yes, overall, thank you all, everyone who listens and supports us, whether it is monetarily or not, whether it is by telling friends or not, whether it's just being like, hi. Every now and then, you need a couple of goofs and a couple of hours with some 3 dumb idiots talking about history. We appreciate 50 fucking episodes of this show. It has flown by, and it is amazing. And I don't know about you, Matt and Megan, but I feel pretty damn proud of what we have accomplished here.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Oh, baby! I wish I felt 22. My fucking back hurts.
Oh my god, my teeth are killing me.
Stop.
My knees, ugh.
Stop.
I took away your bending. So yeah, in the tradition of our first ever guest podcast with the most, Steve, do you have a question for our audience?
Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere. Let me just see if I can.
Oh my god, this is a classic bit. I love it when they do this.
Yeah. Do you have that? Yeah, thanks. It's what the fuck history?